He's a defensive guy. Because you look at some guys, you're like, okay, I know I can get all the way home. I'm not so sure about that because I've seen him have golden opportunities, have games at home, and he's come up small. He has these great numbers, but they normally because he's falling behind by 20, 24 points, and he gets, teams they slack off, they play, keep everything in front of him, and he ends up with great numbers, but it's all empty calories. I'm not sold on the Cowboys defense just yet. I don't believe they can replicate the turnover margin which they created last year. I love Michael Parsons. I did see flashes from D-Law last year. Maybe he can round back. I don't believe he can be that 12, 14 sack guy that he was, that he parlayed that into the big contract. He's more of a run guy. He still can collapse the pocket a little bit, but I don't see the once ferocious pass rusher that I saw early in his career. Injuries have a lot to do with that. So I will say the Cowboys go 10-7 and they win the division.
Okay, if they're going to go 10-7 and you have the Eagles making the playoffs, are they going to make the playoffs at 9-8?
No, y'all might wait. They go. You got to win the tiebreaker.
Okay, so you think they both finish 10-7? Yeah. Somehow we've beaten them twice or whatever. Whatever happened. That means we're at the game, a bunch of game winners.
Y'all are. Yeah, that's what y'all do. You know y'all do.
Because the two easiest schedules in the NFL are owned by the Cowboys and the Eagles.
You what? They just are. Guess what they say? They got y'all on their schedule. Boy, that's a win there. Because we used to go down the schedule because we had 16 games like that. Win. I don't know about that one. Win. So they look at the Cowboys, okay, win. That's what they looking at y'all.
And this is how I'm looking at my team. I tried to talk myself out of this throughout the offseason. I tried to say, don't forget, you're stuck with the puppet coach, the do-nothing puppet coach, Mike McCarthy. Wade County.
Oh, y'all gonna start the season 2-4.
2-4?
Yeah. 2 losses. They're losing to Tampa, losing to the Bengals. Y'all gonna lose to LA. Y'all gonna lose to the Eagles. Yeah. Y'all about 2-4. The best. Y'all might be 500, but I'm thinking 2-4.
Okay.
Give me 2-4 and 3-3 for two cases.
I'll do 2 cases for 2-4. Right?
What'd you give it for 3-3? Give me a case.
I don't want you. You said 2-4.
Yeah, I mean, think about it.
You already plunged. You already said it. This is your day of guts of your convictions, right?
Let me see how y'all do the first game.
Well, then all bets are off.
No. It's not even one game.
Yeah, but we're going to upset the GOAT.
Y'all ain't gonna upset nothing. You gonna be upset coming out here on Monday. I'm betting that.
He's finally going to be 6-1 against Dallas.
No. He don't lose to Dallas, Skip.
No, this is our time. This is our year, and we're going to kick it off correctly by managing to barely overcome the GOAT at Jerry.
Can you tell me why?
We almost beat the GOAT at the GOAT last year.
Can you tell me why you're gonna beat Tom Brady? Just give me one good reason why.
Because his offensive line is a mess right now. And I believe Mike is going to make a mess of Brady in his backfield.
What do you think Tampa's defense going to do? Your line.
You know what? Steve is going to have a bounce back year. I'm on record. I know I'm sure I'm successfully jinxing my team as we speak. And I called it unjinxable last
year. Yeah, you did.
Well, I'm not saying this team is unjinxable. I'm just spitting facts at you. Zeke looks better than I've ever seen him look, certainly since he came to pro.
The man is standing there with a t-shirt on, with a cut-up t-shirt, and you say the man look good. What about when he has the ball and his shoulder pads on?
He used to have a little punch. He did. And he had a double chin, and I said, that's my running back? What happened to 21 that I knew and loved? He got himself back in shape because he knows this could be a one-and-done year for him, because if he doesn't produce some goods this year, he's going to be out on the street looking for another team, and I'm not sure another team's going to want him. If his yards per game fall for a 7th straight year, he's going to be on the outside looking in. And I think he's got too much warrior spirit in him, which we first saw at The Ohio State as he dominated the world. And he's got too much, and he's got enough left in the tank. I know he's taken a lot of hits, but I think they're really going to try to reestablish the run. And I think they will run the ball a little better than they will throw the football. And I think it will start with 21, and Tony Pollard's going to play a bigger role in this. And they have firepower on offense. I don't care what you say, CeeDee Lamb is going to have a breakthrough year. He's going to be a top 5 Pro Bowl receiver. Book him. And all I know is I've got 11 from heaven, and you don't. Nobody has 11 from heaven except me, and he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to ignite and inspire that whole unit. Coach by one of the best in Dan Quinn. They play for Dan Quinn. They play smart and they play hard.
What about the head coach?
You just ignore him.
You can't.
You can, because he does doesn't do anything. He's just a bump on a log down on the sideline.
So just imagine, Dan Quinn comes in, gets the defense all fired up, and then Mike McCarthy comes right behind him.
He's the single worst motivational speaker I've ever heard. As I call him, please drop the mic, McCarthy.
Yes.
Yeah, please drop. Well, okay, so you just ignore him. You work around it. You win in spite of it. You go to Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is the unofficial head coach of this team. Somehow Jerry kept him, I think, with an unwritten promise, with a handshake deal that if Mike fails, you're my guy. And I think unofficially he's already Jerry.
Well, they ain't gonna fire Mike McCarthy.
No.
See, so what you got there, Rick?
I got him 12-5. 12-5. And I love the Eagles, and I think they might win 11 games, but they're going to make the playoffs. But I got 12-5 because I'm sticking with that man simulation. I got the Cowboys.
Man, stop. The man simulation had get Dak throw for 5,700 yards and 57 touchdowns.
They got him winning MVP, and I'm not going to discount that. I'm not ruling that completely out. I got Brady, but I got Dak as a dark horse. I got Joe Burrow as a dark horse.
No.
Also. But the
Them mules, they ain't
point
ready.
is, we added Devontae Turpin, the USL MVP as a receiver. And you don't think he's going to catch some balls as well as catching punts and kickoffs? He will catch some passes.
Skip, he's good.
He will be a different.
Skip, I mean, I was impressed with this young man. What he's been able to, what he's gone through. Hopefully he's changed his life around, has some answers.
Yeah, he did.
Skip, you make it seem like a man Devin Nelson.
He might be. Well, he just might be. How do you win USFL MVP as a receiver? How do you do that? It's a quarterback's game, and if you win it as a receiver, you're legit. And I kept saying, Jerry, wake up, do something in the offseason. They got the USFL MVP.
This man just
he will
said,
change
Devontae
lives.
Turpin,
Yeah.
Devin Nelson in the return.
It is Turpin time.
You've been drinking Turpin time.
Turpin time. That's what it is.
Yeah, I